what do you call Ivankov? Because I actually haven't even thought about it till recently. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't even remember. What do I call Ivankov normally? Do I call it a he or a she? Or maybe it's just in the moment?
Why are you going there?
No,
why? Why are you?
No, I'm not. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer with Ivankov. I'm just saying, like, what do you think?
Oh my god, no,
I don't,
that's not a good answer.
I literally don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
Good. Sounds good. Okay. Then, how long has it been?
I think it's been at least
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So
Wow. Yeah, this is one of the longest breaks for the Wano Report in like a while.
Very long break. It's not like anything important happened though in the story.
No. These have been some pretty forgettable chapters, right?
Pretty forgettable chapters. So yeah, we're back for episode 40. So it's like I don't know. I think it's not 50, it's not 100, but it's still a big number.
It's a very big
number. Kind of excited. Also, I'm not sure if Morj is talking right now. Like, we've had connection issues. I'm just gonna bridge this over, I guess, until he's back, and then cut out his audio, so it'll sound like it was just me talking all along. But yeah, so these connection issues, I guess we'll just have to live with them a little bit. Are you back?
Yeah, is it? I don't know if it's my connection, because my connection was fine. Are you good on your end?
Yeah, mine's pretty good also, so it might...
Then it's probably mine.
It's really weird, because it comes really periodically, so that's weird.
Okay, do we want to do that again?
Nah, it's okay.
Make it easy?
I just kept talking.
Okay.
We can keep it in.
All right.
We can keep it in.
Are we keeping this in?
We're gonna keep this in as well.
All right, okay. All right, so what happened was... Never mind. Doesn't matter. We're back.
Doesn't matter. We're back. Yeah. But yeah, 40 episodes, dude. So I think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, very big milestone. And I guess to celebrate, you guys might have noticed we have it this time, right? We have an excellent opening animation for the Wano Report made by Cruz Marquez. You can see the link to his Instagram account in the description below. So big thanks to him. We understand he's a big fan of the Wano Report and just wanted to make that for us to be able to have something cool to show you guys at the start of every video.
Yep. It looks pretty amazing, so that's a really cool fan animation. So thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Do we have any other shoutouts?
I think we don't. We have another beautiful thumbnail by Pitch Art. So as always, her link is in the description below. You can check her out. And otherwise, I think we can get right into this week's chapter. We can also start with the chapter before. I don't really care, though this one was pretty good, so we can maybe start with this one and then work our way backwards, if that's cool for you.
So the last one, I mean, yeah, I understand. I'm not trying to jump in and be like, okay, let's talk about the last one, but I'm saying, like, the last one, the big thing was, it was Yamato, basically, right? That was the reveal?
The girl reveal, basically.
Yeah, the girl reveal. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's just going to naturally come up. I think we can, I guess, mostly talk about this chapter, and then the Yamato stuff will naturally come up over the course of this discussion.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, can I ask you one thing?
Okay, I think I kind of know. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and ask.
No, okay, what do you think I want to ask?
Is it about the pronouns?
Yeah.
Okay, because you were just like, oh, the girl reveal. I was like, oh, we're already in dicey territory.
We've
already lost some subs.
Already in danger zone. No, but like seriously, like how are you handling it? Because like me personally, and it's like one of these, like, okay, first, it's okay, we're gonna unpack this maybe slowly, step by step.
Yes.
But like, first of all, I do think it's a very interesting theme Oda has chosen for Wano, and in general, like it's something reoccurring, right, throughout One Piece, which I think is very nice. Like, I do appreciate that Oda, puts attention to these things and like, gives, gives attention to these things and gives like creates interesting characters out of a diverse cast of people. But he, like, that being said, he definitely didn't do the creator community a major service.
No, you did not have us in mind whatsoever.
Yes. And so I'm just going to quickly give you my take on it, and then you can say what you think, and then we can talk about it, I guess.
Okay.
Because for me, so I personally think it's very important, like they're like just in general, there's obviously a lot of sexism, there's a lot of, intolerance regarding the LGBTQ community out there in the world in general.
Of you to get all of that wrong.
Thank
to
you.
mess up their name.
I'm just rocking this, but so I think it's important, that like obviously it would be wrong to say there's no discrimination out there, and it's you can say whatever and it doesn't matter. Like that would be beautiful, and that's the world we should live in, but it sadly isn't the case. And so we should all be aware that it's important to respect people's identification, people's beliefs, people's decisions, and so on and so forth. But it is also very difficult, I feel like, because especially on Twitter and like on the internet, or in certain parts of the internet in general, it feels like people are actively looking to find something wrong, and it doesn't really matter what you say and what you pick. It's just like someone will twist it and say, oh no, but that's actually not it, and then call you out for it. And I don't like that part of it, because I feel that doesn't help anyone. It's like this call out, this cancel culture kind of.
Yes, I know exactly.
Feeling, and I feel like that misses the point, and I feel it doesn't help those that actually do need the representation and so on and so forth. So just giving my take on it, for example, with Kiku, I think it's pretty clear. Like Oda made it a point of saying no, like everyone thought she was a girl, and then when it was revealed she wasn't, she clearly said, but I'm a woman at heart. So I feel, like that's clearly, Kiku wants to be a woman. She identifies as a woman, so like that's what you should describe her. With Yamato, on the other hand, like she clearly doesn't care, in my opinion, about being a man. Her point is that she idealizes Odin, and she wants to represent and carry on his will. It has nothing to do with her identifying as a man, in my opinion. She just has girl stuff on. She looks very girlish, I mean, I love her design. I think I don't have to tell people who watch my review that I'm a big fan of her. But I personally don't see any evidence that she would, like, she didn't say, I'm going to be Odin because I also identify as a man. Like, I feel like that point Oda never tried to make that point, in my opinion. So I don't see a reason why to call Yamato a he if that's not the point of her, being called as Kaido-san.
Pretty much everything you said is like literally exactly how I feel. I mean, I talked about that in my chapter review pretty much, because I felt like I can't keep avoiding that subject any further.
No, it's really hard.
Yeah, so I think I had pretty much exactly the same sentiments. And I think, based on what you were saying earlier, you can jump in and kind of reduce this to being basically, well, you're transphobic if you are not using the he pronoun for Yamato. But I do think that is kind of like a reductive way of looking at the issue, because this is not that straightforward of a situation, right? Like it's not like a Kiku situation where she's saying, I want to identify as a woman, I am a woman at heart, and then you're being like, well, no, you're a dude, so I'm calling you a dude. That's like like a different situation in my mind, and you can have your own stances on that. But I personally refer to Kiku as a girl. I refer to her as a she. Yamato, I definitely don't think that, exactly as you said, she doesn't literally, before Odin's death, I don't think she considered herself a boy. Nothing was implied about that. And I definitely think that her saying, I'm Kazuki Odin, I'm a he, etc., basically like that, the he is not the important part of it whatsoever. It's the fact that she's calling herself Kazuki Odin. She literally wants to be Kazuki Odin. It's not the gender is not the important part of it.
Yeah.
And if anything, that's more likely to be a sort of misguided view on how she needs to be or what she needs to do in order to, follow in the footsteps of Odin. And I doubt that Oda's going to go the direction of maintaining this Yamato's obsession with being Odin all the way through the end of the arc, because that would just be kind of a really weird character to write in. She never grows out of this. Yeah. And again, I'm not talking about the gender part. I'm not talking about the gender part. I'm not saying, she grows out of this phase of wanting to be called a boy. I'm talking about growing out of this phase of feeling like she has to literally be Odin.
Cancelled.
She's been locked up since she was a kid. She doesn't know anything. She thinks that she has to literally be this figure in every sense of the word. So I think it's just different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to refer to her as a she. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. No. So I guess, to end this very dangerous, to leave this very dangerous territory, maybe to sum it up, I think we can everyone agree how important it is to be tolerant, and how important it is to enable minorities and fight against discrimination. But when it comes to this cancel culture trend to look for bad no matter what, and I've gotten these comments in both directions. I feel like it makes me a bit sad because I feel it misses the point, and it like you could spend your time literally doing better again, fighting against like real discrimination, against like getting hung up over something like this. Like you said, where it's not even the point. Like with Kiku, I think it is the point, or it is at least part of her character. With Yamato, it clearly isn't. Like that has not really nothing to do with it, in my opinion. So there. Let's end it there, maybe.
Yeah. This is why we're not going to get any sponsors, by the way. This is why Audible left us.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think we're fine. I don't think this is... I know you said you got some comments one way or another. For me, it was overwhelming. Because when I put out the chapter review explaining my thoughts, I was still open to discussion. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to see what the comments had to say. And if people put good arguments explaining why I should view it the other way, then I would. But for me, at least, the overwhelming majority of people in my viewership were basically agreeing with along the lines of what I was saying. And there was some like blatantly transphobic stuff, which was like, in general, it's just stupid to but like ignoring that stuff, I think most people were on board. And the comments saying that we should refer to Yamato as a he were actually very, very, very rare and far between for me. So this is what I'm going with at the moment. I think this is generally what most One Piece readers view at the moment. And if stuff changes in the story and I start to actually view it a little different, like my perspective of Yamato's character shifts and it becomes more like Kiku, where I'm like, okay, I should be referring to this character as a he, then I'll do that. But I'm saying this is my view at the moment. So
no, 100%. And I feel the point is the point is something different. Like, obviously, if like the character changes and this, like it becomes obvious that this is a point, then of course you adapt. And I also personally don't have a problem with people like, like discussing this with me in the comments and saying, no, but like, Ohara, look, it actually, you should say he because this and that and ABC, and then we can, and then if that's like logical arguments, then we can talk about it. I just don't like the, oh, you're, I don't know, you're shit because, and what, like, and I feel it costs so much energy to, because I mean, of course you can say, oh, we as creators of course have a certain responsibility, of course, and like, I know like there has been people that have been influential, that have been, I don't know, sexist or whatever, and that obviously that has an impact on the audience, so you shouldn't take that lightly. But that being said, I feel it shouldn't be, it can't be that like whenever I do a chapter review on One Piece, I first have to do a complete set of like who has what pronoun and whatever. Like if it's all like, obviously if there's cases like Kiku and so on and so forth, like that's respected, and that obviously is not a big deal. You just say she and that's done. But like, it shouldn't be like me sweating every time I don't use a character's name. So there.
Definitely. Wait, quick question. Looks like you might be cutting out for a moment. I think you're probably fine, right? Can you hear this? I don't know if Ohara can hear this. Maybe we're both talking right now and it's just going to sound really weird on the podcast. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Did you hear any of that?
We're back.
Okay.
Nope, I didn't hear anything,
all right.
But I just kept quiet.
Okay, so we cut out for
I'm
a second.
just going to fill it.
But quick question. What do you call Ivankov? Because I actually haven't even thought about it till recently. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't even remember. What do I call Ivankov normally? Do I call it a he or a she? Or maybe it's just in the moment?
Why are you going there?
No,
why are you?
No, I'm not. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer with Ivankov. I'm just saying, like, what do you think?
Oh my god, no, I don't. That's not a good
I literally don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Like, I think it's fair if you call Ivankov a he. I think it's fair if you call her a she.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, like, what do you, like, no thought, zero thought put into it, like if you were just using Ivankov in a sentence, like, oh yeah, in Marineford he did this, or in Marineford she did that. Like, what's off the top of your head? How did you register that character? Because I don't even know now. I haven't thought about it in so long. Like, I literally never thought about the pronouns, because it was a simpler time back when Ivankov was introduced.
Are we really going there?
I just want to know what you...
Oh my god. I don't know, man. I feel like with Ivankov...
No, I'm not saying like a complex, like we have to have a discussion about it. I'm just like, it's just like off the cuff, like, oh yeah, what the hell do we even call Ivankov? Okay. Like, what have we been calling?
Off the cuff of my head, I felt that the idea behind Ivankov's character... not even
the thought process behind it. I'm just like, oh yeah, when Ivankov showed up, like, like if you were to type out a sentence or something like, oh yeah, and then he did that, or oh yeah, then she did that. Like, what does she fit
then I
more?
would say she probably.
You think you
probably.
say she? I think I used
like
to say
out of the
he
top
more,
of my head,
but I hardly ever talk about that character, so I don't even remember now.
Why did we go there?
I didn't mean it like that. I don't think anybody cares about Ivankov like that. Like, Ivankov's a fucking wacky character who swaps genders at like the drop of the hat. So I was just like, what do people usually call that? What do people usually call them?
We were already walking the very dangerous line.
Okay,
you just jumped off the line. You took the line
fine.
and you were like,
I think we're fine. Nobody cares.
Okay. But like, like escaping this discussion, and at the same time picking up an earlier point that you talked about that I thought was interesting was Yamato's identification with Odin, right? And I think what you said, I would agree with that. That she will have to outgrow Odin, at least from this extreme level of admiration. And I personally do believe that I think you're aware that I'm a big fan for Yamato for Straw Hat.
I've seen your Twitter.
And I do believe, yes, thank you. So I do think that Luffy might be able to, fill that role of idealization where she's like, oh, like Luffy is actually like Odin. And so like she can drop that and like be more of herself, even though it will still, of course, like when you grow up like that, it'll be undoubtedly always a bit, partly something of your character. But I agree that it has to be dropped. And I do believe that this chapter already, we kind of saw it a little bit where Luffy was basically like, well, everyone loved Odin, you can't be Odin, and she was like, well, then you be Odin. So
she really needs someone to be Odin. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she's not while it's strongly part of her personality right now, I don't think she's permanently married to that, to that idea. So I think she will grow from that.
I definitely agree. And also I think just in general, like, like with Luffy and Katakuri, for example, like a big part of that for Katakuri was he saw the value in being, like, just being yourself, kind of, through Luffy. Because Luffy's always himself, right? And Katakuri was a character who always puts up a front. I think that is a thing that, any character can kind of learn from Luffy. So hopefully that is something along the lines of the direction that Yamato's character goes, where, it's just silly to have to, like, literally cosplay 24/7 as a character you admire if you think that that's the only way to be like that character, pretty much. So, or that individual.
Though I gotta say, her outfit is pretty damn cool.
It is a really cool outfit.
And it's not like what I really like about it. It's that it's not exactly Odin. Like she has like the Oni. What is it? I don't know. Like
mask or the
not the mask, but like the strings she has.
The things on the back.
Yeah.
The bow?
Yeah. So that is pretty Odinish. But like other than that, like her yukata that she's wearing, that's different. And then obviously like the horns and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a very unique design.
Yes.
So I don't think she's necessarily cosplaying too hard. It's literally just that one very predominant piece of clothing, I guess.
She's mentally cosplaying a little bit, I think.
That she is indeed. Yeah. That it's role playing, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's the actual word. I forgot that there's a real word for that. But I don't know. I like her character design a lot. I actually don't know. I've liked her character interactions with Luffy the last chapter and a half, I guess, basically. But I still can't say for sure how I feel about her. Like, I like her and I want to like her, but I still don't know her yet. Like, I haven't seen her do a lot. And also the terrible translations that we got for 985, like the initial fan translations, I actually couldn't make any sense of their conversation pretty much the first time. Like, I vaguely could, but it was so bad. It was viz.
Really bad.
Yeah, reading the viz today helped me get a better picture of her and the stuff she was saying. And I like her a little better now. Can you hear me? Oh, no, not this again.
No, it's good.
Okay.
We're back.
All right.
That's the theme of this podcast.
Yeah. It won't be like this all the time. I'm moving to a new place, everyone. It'll be better internet, hopefully. Can't be worse internet.
Can't wait. But yeah, the translation was so bad. Like I actually like this time read the original, like the Japanese version.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And so that helped, definitely. Yeah. It was really bad. But like to be fair, I've read the official as well today. And like I'm not saying it was wrong, But I'm just saying, like, this chapter, like, especially like Luffy and Yamato's conversation was very hard to translate, I feel. So it didn't make too much sense either. It wasn't great, the translation, but I think it was due to their actual conversation and not due to the translation itself, you know.
Wait, can you shed some light on that actually? Because I have heard multiple times that the official is a little off or takes some liberties and stuff like that. Like, I just want to know what they actually said, or if you can give a better idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, I sometimes check in on the Japanese version when the chapter comes out, but this time was like the first time I literally went, like, based also my review on like the entire Japanese version.
Oh, it's a nice
and
luxury.
Like I think that the translation, the official, is still good, but they do take liberties. Like a lot of like some stuff they translate closer to the original, and some they try to, you know, make sound better, I guess, and then like make it a bit more abstract. So I feel like some stuff might get lost in there, but like I think they personally also probably make the call of saying like, okay, well, we're gonna phrase this differently because it just sounds better, it makes more sense like that. One thing I'm gonna say is that I might be wrong, and like maybe someone who also speaks Japanese in the comments can correct me, but I personally feel like Yamato has a very weird and quirky like speaking style, if that makes sense. So for example, the sentence where she basically asks Luffy to be on the ship, like I understood it like that, but it's phrased in such a weird way that it's heavily open to interpretation, and like this entire page.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Oh, I said like I felt like the way she said it makes it easy to misinterpret.
Said which?
The panel where Yamato basically asks Luffy to join his ship.
What does she say specifically, basically?
Well, it was like, so basically she says like, okay, me as Odin is one speech bubble. Then the next speech bubble was like, since you are Ace's brother, and then the last one is like, what was it like? It was something with Johos or information. So it was like, I want some. So since you don't have like specific identifiers in the Japanese language, she's saying like someone should let her join her on their ship, since she has been gaining information on that for the past years or something along those lines. So it was like, I understand that there were different versions out there because it's very hard to say what she really means. I personally also took it to mean that she asked Luffy to be on the ship, but then like the first version or the first rough translation I read said something different, and then the official now says it again, so I think I'm more or less confident that that's now kind of a consensus. But I do understand where the confusion came from, because it was like the sentence structure was very hard to, I guess, deconstruct, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question. Is she saying that she wants to get onto Luffy's ship, or is she saying...
Oh my god.
Sorry, what happened? Oh no, did we cut off again? Oh, man, I gotta think of something. Oh wait, we're good. We're back. Okay, the pauses are getting shorter and shorter. Anyways, the $1 million question is basically, did she say she wants to get onto Luffy's ship, or is it a little more open to interpretation? But you're saying, based on everything you've read, you still feel like it was...
Yeah, I still do feel like it was directed towards Luffy.
Okay, and you have no bias because you haven't been tweeting Yamato for Nakama for the past 3 weeks.
I have literally zero bias.
No, I'm kidding, but I do trust that basically, if you've looked at the Japanese and you've looked at those, so that's good to know, because, dude, the Yamato for Nakama, I guess we could talk about that for a little bit, or save that.
Oh, for sure. Do
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've... Okay, up until now, I've always looked kind of with, like, a raised eyebrow at people who fanboy or fangirl really hard at, like, certain characters or, like, certain events taking place. I now do feel you. I'm not sure how it happened. Because I swear, like, when we first got Yamato just with the mask, and, like, it was implied that he might be an ally, I really, like, more or less jokingly said, oh, like, definitely Yamato for Nakama. And, like, somehow within my comment section and everything, like, such a dynamic developed around that like, now I'm so hyped around this idea. So I do feel that now. I'm, like, I think for the first time in my life, I'm really fanboying hard. Over Yamato joining the Straw.
Okay, did the fanboying start hard after? Because at first you're saying it was, like, a bit of a meme that you kind of got going. right? Did it start really hard once it was revealed that she was a girl, or
yeah, kind of.
Okay,
kind of. So there might be a bias there as well, I guess.
Dude, it just made her so much more interesting. Like, the fact that it was a girl, it's just like this character just becomes 10 times more interesting when you're like putting a girl in that role in the story.
It's just so much like her character. Like, not saying we haven't seen so much of her, of course, especially personality wise, but just what we've gotten so far, what I really like is like the mix. Like, she's attractive. I think we can say that.
Yeah.
I think I'm not alone, hopefully.
No.
And she has a really cool, like really unique, I feel, like with the outfit and the horns. Like, the design is very unique, so I personally don't quite understand people who say she's basically just Nami with horns. I do disagree.
Wait, who says that? See that? I've actually never.
A lot of people see that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that.
Oh wait, are they talking about her design, or are they talking about her character?
Both, I think.
Both? How are they? How, her character is nothing like Nami. I mean, like almost not at all. I don't get that whatsoever. I mean, the two characters could not feel any more different. Like Yamato's. I mean, like you're saying, like she's like an Oni, Kaido, son of a Yonko, wants to be like Kazuki Odin. How is Odin like Nami in any sense? She hits people with a club. Like she's a brute force fighter.
Like, I don't see it.
I literally don't understand that whatsoever.
Yeah. So I'm happy I'm not alone with that. And yeah, as you said, like the other factor that she's Kaido's daughter and like she's actually strong and everything. Like, I don't know, it's just very intriguing, and I think we've talked about this a lot, that we feel like there should be someone joining from Wano, and like the best candidates we've had so far were like Tama and Momo, which I think we both established wouldn't be horrible, but I think Yamato is just like fits this. I really want this person to join the crew.
It's more exciting, just more exciting than Tama or Momo by many levels, I think.
Definitely fits the tragic backstory, I would say, if she was like beaten and like locked up by her father.
Dude, I think that there's a lot that basically could be done with this character. So I don't know, I'm just very interested. And also just the idea that like Kaido is beating up like a daughter, that just becomes a little more brutal than, beating up a son. For, just generally, like, even though Yamato's obviously a very strong, physically strong character, it just has like a different vibe to it when it's like, oh, the dad was beating up his daughter versus if he was beating up like a boy. So I don't know, especially if it was since she was 8 years old. So I don't know, it could be a very, very interesting character story. Generally very excited for her.
I feel like I think I mentioned that in my chapter review as well. I feel like the only big requirement really for her to join is that Odin didn't really write down any details about the One Piece and Laugh Tale into his journal, but just like maybe some new elements and some details, but nothing that like, because basically if he wrote everything in there and basically Yamato knows what the One Piece is and everything, then I feel like she couldn't join the crew, because but like if Odin simply wrote, and then we went to Laugh Tale, basically how it was presented in the flashback, and there's not like too much information stored in there, then I feel like that's no problem.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't even thought about that. I think that would be the biggest thing stopping her from joining the crew if that was the case, like if she actually had all that information. But then I don't know, it would be just weird if like she joined the crew and she was like, Luffy, I have this journal, I know all this stuff, and Luffy's like, no, don't tell me. I think that's just too forced if he's literally just trying to stop her from
like he did with Rayleigh.
It's like, it's fine if you do it with Rayleigh, because it's like, that's like a quick shortcut, but if you have the answer sitting on the crew the entire time, that's just different.
And she's just like sitting there like, I know where we should have to go.
It's like, all right,
but you don't want to know, so I guess I'm not gonna say anything.
Colder,
but this
warmer.
Is the wrong way. Yeah. And like one thing I wondered, like, do you feel, because like one thing I was excited by and frightened by at the same time was Oda introducing the idea of her joining the crew that early on. Oh, like that? I think so. Like with Brook, right? Like with Brook, we got Luffy asked Brook to join the crew. I think the moment he met him. With Yamato, it's just like a little bit different because Yamato mentioned joining the crew. But either way, like I don't think it's that weird if that idea is floated early on. So I think it's fine. And it doesn't. I'm only a bit worried about it because I feel like if Oda presents it that early on, I'm like, Oh,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it could just be
gaslighting a bit,
a red herring, or no, I don't think red herring's the right word. Yeah, no, it kind of is a red herring because we're trying to guess the next crewmate, basically.
Yeah. But do you feel like now that the idea is introduced, it's like one of these times where Oda basically, even though he will undoubtedly, like there will be a twist surrounding Yamato, do you feel like it's something he will follow along with?
That Yamato's going to join the crew?
Yeah.
Okay, look, if I had to bet money right now, like if you said like you have to bet $50 either way, or like $100 either way on Yamato joining the crew or not joining the crew, I would bet on joining the crew. But I definitely think that it's, nothing's set in stone, and it could be just not as straightforward as we see. I think
there's definitely still a couple of caveats there, yeah.
And let me say, actually, the thing that I thought of was, as the one reason that Yamato wouldn't join the crew would be because, Yamato wants to be like Odin, Yamato wants to go to the sea and stuff like that, but Yamato also knows that Wano has to be freed in general. So there's a few aspects to it. So I do wonder if Yamato being the shogun or something along those lines could be more than just a temporary situation, just because like one of Odin's failings was that he went on his adventures rather than staying behind in Wano to like actually be a leader, fulfill the role that like his father being the daimyo, becoming the next shogun and stuff. Like if he'd done the path that he was supposed to have done, then Wano would be in a much better spot generally. And it was kind of the fact that he like left the throne for so long that screwed everybody over so bad. So it is one of those things where like sometimes going like I think we still have yet to see exactly what Odin's life story really means for everybody in the modern day, but I think easily like one of the lessons that could potentially be coming out of it is like Yamato realizing that just going out to sea and do like that's not the important part of like fulfilling what Odin needed to do. Like it might be more so. I don't know if I'm getting this across properly, but basically I'm saying that,
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, that like just because Odin went and did that, the lesson may in turn then be that like learning to do where Odin failed. Similar to how I think like with Momo, like one of the ways that Odin didn't rally his people as much. He more so took the burden upon himself a lot. Whereas do you think that with Momo, hopefully his leadership arc or something along those lines has to do with succeeding where his dad failed. So yeah, that the point basically being that I think that with Yamato, like it could, as you're saying, just be a red herring that like, oh, Yamato wants to go to sea right now. But in reality, in the long term, it might be learning to do a lot of things that like not just doing what you want and going off on the adventure, but like maybe there is a bigger responsibility. That's about it.
Yeah. I don't like this objectively.
Okay, that's totally fine. That's totally, that's my
totally
hypothetical counterpoint.
I've heard that idea, of course, before.
Okay,
like Yamato actually, follow like in the end following Momo. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'll do I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting Stride candidates that are floating around right now. Or not all interesting, but like there's a good number. And the candidates now are much better than they were. Like if you remember in Dressrosa.
Oh, yeah.
Dressrosa had some... Dude, people thought that like somebody had to join, and it was just the worst options popping up. People were like, Rebecca's going to join. People
Bartolomeo.
Were like... Yeah, Bartolomeo. I love Bartolomeo.
He would have been nice.
He's not a Straw Hat, though. Like, he's not written like that. He's like more of a gag character than anything with like a little bit of depth to him or like stuff like that. Like, just the worst options and people trying to force it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I personally, like, if I had to finish the arc for Oda, I would say figure out a good way to have Momo ultimately grow into that position of the Shogun. Have Luffy tell Tama that, or Tama realizing that I think there's still a twist around Tama also, who she is, who her parents are. Oh. So I think
let me say this. No, actually you finish your thought, and then I'll go ahead.
Okay. No, you look very excited.
No, it's just the interesting comment that somebody left for me regarding Tama. Okay, it's based off what you said, and then you continue what you were saying. Basically, it's So Tama and Yamato, very similar names, right? Okay, Tama and Yamato. I think Yamato backwards. If you like, or Otama. I think Otama and Yamato. It's like the same name but just backwards, and Yamato has a Y. Like if you swap Otama backwards, it becomes...
Right.
Yeah, basically you get that, right? So there's that. And then also both of them had the exact same storyline where they both met Ace and wanted to leave Wano with Ace, but it wasn't time for them. And then they both meet Ace's brother and they're like, okay, you should be taking me on your ship or something along those lines. Or I don't know if Otama said that to Luffy, but basically the same thing happened to them. It's just like a weird connection. Somebody in my comments mentioned that, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head so far. It's just such a... It could mean literally nothing, but it's just interesting because like Wano already has these weird time shenanigans and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's possible. Do you think it's possible that they're actually the same person?
That's what I've kind of weirdly started considering, but it's just so out there that it's hard to imagine. You know, it's like there's so many things that don't make sense in that for that to be possible. So, but it's just something. It's just like an interesting connection. It could mean nothing, but like ever since that person pointed it out to me, like I haven't been able to forget about it. And it's just like, well, maybe they are, like, maybe Tama's going to join the crew and Yamato's going to join the crew, and it's just the same person or something like that. I don't know.
That'd be crazy. I will be back in 1 second. I quickly got to grab a charger.
All right, no problem. There. Oh, shoot. Do I have to enter? I think I have to entertain the podcast. I don't know if Ohara's going to cut this part of it out. That's fine. I can think of something to say. All right, so... no, I already spilled that pretty juicy theory about Yamato and Tama. Oh, I'll promote my own channel. All right, so go subscribe to the Mr. Morj channel. Go subscribe to the Mr. Morj channel, especially if you're interested in this Yamato Tama theory, because maybe that'll be a video down the line. Or maybe I'll do a video talking about, you know, all of these Straw Hat Crew candidates and kind of grading them in terms of who I think is most likely to least likely. Yeah, if you want some juicy content like that, then go subscribe to the Mr. Morj channel. It's much better than this channel. In fact, it's many times better than this channel. Oh, okay. Ohara is back.
What were you doing?
I was entertaining the podcast.
You entertained the podcast?
I entertained the podcast.
What do you
kept
talk
up
about?
The professionalism. I just talked about One Piece. Serious analysis of One Piece. The deep stuff that they really enjoy. You don't need to worry about checking up on that section of the audio.
I definitely won't.
Right.
I would never.
Okay.
I would never dream about that. Sorry for that.
Do you want to talk about chapter 985? Or wait, we were finishing your thought. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Before I interrupted you rudely.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about Tama.
Oh right. So yeah, that's actually an interesting thought about Tama and Yamato. But yeah, like if those two aren't related, I would just say Tama should, find out that she should help Momo and like her take that role of supporting Momo, and then Yamato joining the crew on their journey. Just to finish that, I guess.
Carrot. What about Carrot? What happens? I
like Carrot. I like Carrot. I don't like Carrot enough that I must see her on the crew.
Yeah, like Yamato has already eclipsed Carrot in terms of my interest.
Yeah.
In like 3 chapters.
Just in terms of a backstory, it's already like just her being the daughter or son of a Yonko just already makes her exponentially more interesting than Carrot, just backstory wise.
100%.
And then having read Odin's journal, I personally don't think she'll hang on to that. I feel like that journal still might get into the wrong hands, but she has read it. It's like her Bible, so I don't know. She can contribute a lot more, I feel.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we still don't really have a gauge of how strong she really is, because like, I mean, at the very least, we know that like non-Gear 4th Luffy wasn't really making her sweat. Basically, like about it. That's like as far as we know so far, which is already really strong. So very interesting. Anyway,
do you want to talk about the Orochi thing?
Yeah, that's I guess the main thing, right? So, oh wait, actually, can I ask one thing really quickly? Before the Orochi thing, because you read the Japanese, the part that they talk about at the end where they're saying Onigashima will be the flower cap. Can you clarify that? Because so in the original terrible fan translations, what I read was they're going to be moving Onigashima, like literally moving Onigashima to the flower capital.
Oh, yeah.
What I read in Viz was basically we're making the flower capital Onigashima. So to me, those are two very different things. One implies that they're just going to be renaming the flower capital like New Onigashima. The other implies they're physically moving Onigashima to the flower capital. What did the Japanese actually imply?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good point, because that was pretty much the same. The question is how literal you can take that, right? Because it also spoke about moving Onigashima, but then the question is like, that could be like same as in English, that could be, you know, just saying, okay, the flower capital now is the new center of the island, and like Wano as a whole is like New Onigashima. And then I've seen people saying, no, the skull will actually rise and like move, and the island will literally move. So the Japanese sadly didn't give any deeper insight in that. It's like the same ambiguity, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right, so it's still up in the air. I guess then besides that, so the Orochi stuff, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Some people said they saw it coming. I personally did not see it coming. Definitely not this chapter.
No,
I was
not
definitely
here.
very, very taken aback. Yeah, I think the fact that Kaido would at some point abandon Orochi was pretty much set in stone, but I didn't expect it this soon and this way. Obviously, the first thought you have when you see that is, oh, he's probably not dead. But I gotta be honest, like after thinking about it for a second, I would not mind if that was final.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there has been a lot of setup regarding Hiyori and Momo and the Kozuki, you know, taking their revenge on Orochi. At the same time, I feel it had like a sort of cathartic feel to it.
Yeah.
And it gave amazing characterization to Kaido, in my opinion. That would kind of be a bit diminished, I feel, if he were to be revived. Now, like you said earlier, if I had to bet my money, I would probably go with he'll come back somehow. But I would really like it, honestly, if this were just like the genuine moment and he were actually dead. Like, I think that would be a really strong moment.
Yes. So I think my feelings are pretty similar to you. It's weird. I guess after I did my chapter review, it made sense to me a little bit. Okay, let's pretend Orochi's actually dead. I would dislike it because it would feel like things that in the past, like lots of small things in the past, especially like, you know, the Wano, Kazuki, Kurozumi stuff, like you said, Momo, Yori, even Zoro stuff, like, it would feel like lots of smaller, like nothing really crazy significant, like, oh, how could he kill Orochi so soon? Like, this ruins everything in the past. But like lots of small stuff before feels less important. But at the same time, moving forward, it suddenly feels like a lot more fresh and exciting. So it's kind of, it's like, I wouldn't mind it, basically. It's like, okay, I would dislike it a little bit for like, it feels like Oda killed off some plot threads that were kind of developing. But then I would like it for like the drastic new direction it kind of takes the arc a little bit. So I think overall I would like it if Orochi was just dead. And plus I don't like the character. Like, I mean, I thought he was, that's one of the things. I thought he was turning into a pretty cool villain, potentially, like much more than just a spandom. But like he ends his reign in the story as basically like a more developed spandom along those lines. Yeah. But so I'd be a little disappointed, but also just everything that came with it. Like, okay, now the flower capital is going to be Onigashima. All of Wano's a lawless zone. This is officially like a pirate's country and stuff. That's just so much more interesting and exciting that I'm okay with it. And, you know, it seems like he wasn't strong in the end, so it's not like we're losing that, really, because I was still holding out hope that he was going to be strong. So overall, if he's dead, I'm okay with it. I'm a little surprised. When I reread all of Wano, then I'll know more like how disappointing it is, whether or not, you know, the earlier stuff. But I do think that it's very likely he's alive just because of the fruit that he has. Right? I think it's very possible that he's alive. I didn't think about that when I read the chapter, but afterwards I did.
Well, I thought about it, and then there's like, I had like two kind of opposing thoughts, I guess, for lack of a better phrasing. Because my first thought was, oh, he's gonna regenerate, right? Because like he has multiple heads, and then like Hydra style, he's just gonna, you know, regrow his head or something. And then my next thought was, well, Kaido should know this, right? Like, Kaido should be aware of his devil fruit. And so Kaido wouldn't just cut off his head and be like, oh yeah, he's dead. And then he regrows and it's like, oh no, you actually have a mythical zone devil fruit, which like Kaido's like, I'm not an expert in zone fruit, so how would I know?
Okay, so I don't know. For that, it's possible that he just hasn't
Yes, found like that he did that. That's one very interesting thought. I feel like that someone brought that up, that he might not be aware of this power himself, Orochi.
Yeah. Or it's just never come up. Like, how often is he even in battle, basically? That's my thought. Oh, shoot. Happened again. I think we'll be back in like a second. Hopefully. Right? You back? Yeah. All right. No, just like, I wonder how often he's even been in battle to have experienced the cutting of heads, and how, if Kaido's ever seen
He's definitely not been beheaded before, I would say.
Yeah, that's probably not a run-of-the-mill occurrence. Like, that's not happening every other day. So I don't think that would be too bad if that's the case. Like there have been other times, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but where, like, you know, a Devil Fruit user reveals, like, some other aspect of their power that, like, wasn't seen before or something, like, you know.
No, yeah, I would definitely go with that as well. So yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. I think it created, like, no matter if he's dead or not, I think it created a wonderful dynamic with Kanjuro, who I'm really excited to see how he's gonna take all this.
Oh yeah, and Kanjuro.
Did you catch the foreshadowing with the headless samurai?
Okay, so going back, I did. Because I read the Viz today, right? So going back, it was like a little blatant. It was like, you know, warriors without heads or something along those lines, and then Ryza being like, well, we still have our heads and stuff. And then I was like, but at the time I was not. No, there's no way I predicted that Orochi would be beheaded.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't predict it. I just, like, the moment I saw the panel of Orochi, I was like, oh, sneaky with the samurai at the beginning. Yeah. I also didn't, like, since I was reading the Japanese, I didn't immediately get that they were actually drawings by Kanjuro.
Oh,
because because I think, what is it, like, Izo says something along the line like, this is very artsy, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And then it kind of, like, dawned on, oh, okay, like, these are actually drawings.
Dude, that's so cool though that Kanjuro can do stuff like that.
I like the designs a lot. Those were really really cool. I feel.
Oh shoot, not again.
And
the designs were cool.
I'm just wondering.
Can't hear Ohara right now, but
is there
the designs were cool.
Anything else we should talk about this chapter?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh, were you gone?
Yeah, I was gone.
Wow.
No, but the designs were really cool. Because, like, I mean, when Kanjuro first showed up with that whole squad, I thought that was really cool. That Kanjuro is showing up with his own little army. I was like, damn, Kanjuro is really badass. And then when it was revealed that Kanjuro drew all of these guys, that was when I was like, oh my god, Kanjuro is so cool now. Like, the stuff that he can do is just...
He didn't draw... Did he draw all of them?
Not
or
all
just
of
the
them.
two samurai?
Maybe it was just a couple of them or something like that.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I liked how impressed Izo was by that. He was like, props to him. Like, that was like his reaction, basically. And yeah, no, I think, like, I do enjoy Kanjuro a lot by now. I like his twist. Like, he's way smarter and way stronger. Yeah. And of course, way more ruthless than we thought. And so I feel like, that was definitely one of the way better twists Oda has done recently. I really enjoyed that a lot.
Definitely. Like, the general shift in Kanjuro's character and the Orochi twist, of course. So, like, I don't know. Wano's gonna be just really, really good pretty much from here on out. I'm so excited.
I was just checking my YouTube.
Yeah.
And, like, I just got a fresh comment. It's just on my chapter review. It's just he.
Oh. All right.
I'm like, okay, please stop.
I wonder what he's referring to.
Yeah, I wonder as well. So yeah, is there anything else this chapter that we should talk about?
I think. Go ahead.
Last thing, I think what was interesting, but I mean, this is, like, basically just speculation. I'd still like to hear your thoughts on it though. What do you think happened with Kiku, that she was crying with the bloody sword at the end?
I really have not thought about that much because I don't know. Really don't know. I think the tears could still just be. She was crying. I mean, she was really upset about the situation, but I've no idea what the tears are about, really. Maybe it's hearing the broadcast and stuff like that, you know, because if the broadcast is reaching out there and she's hearing about Momonosuke's execution or something, I don't know. And I was just generally surprised by the focus on Kiku specifically this chapter. I didn't really get it. Like, people in my comments were like, well, it's because Kiku was one of the few that traveled to Kanjuro in the future. I'm like, well, then why is it the focus on Raizo, who was actually, you know, with Kanjuro pretty much most of post time skip and stuff. Like it just feels really random.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, we also like almost got the first proper introduction, like with the text box. I think we didn't get that properly for Kiku before, so that was very interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if something's just gonna happen with that character soon.
Yeah. Do you feel like, because she talks about inflicting a permanent wound with her sword, do you feel like she has like some certain power, or is that just more literal?
I assumed it was more, fancy poetic talk, basically.
Fancy wording.
Yeah,
it would be very interesting. Too. Like it sounded to me like my first thought that I had was like, oh, maybe she has like another curse blade like Zoro does. But in this case, it leaves like a curse mark on whoever she cuts or something.
That would be really interesting. But like, it doesn't really change how she fights, I think. So yeah, it's just like, if I kill you, it'll be worse than normally getting killed. So it's like,
I guess so. Well, I think she rather implied like, if I cut you and you survive, like that wound will always hurt or something along those lines.
Yeah, that would be a really cool ability.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Also, I think it looked really badass how she charged at Kanjuro.
Yeah,
like,
Kiku.
With that speed and everything.
That was a really cool like action panel for sure. I think Kiku was definitely a lot stronger as a fighter than we initially saw her as.
Yeah. Should we go into questions, or is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I got questions up, and I'm sure stuff will pop up as we go through questions, basically.
Sure, let's do that. Do you want to pick first? I think Arthur, if I saw correctly, left us a question, so we can start with that maybe.
Oh, shoot. So actually, we talked about this a little bit. If it's transferring Onigashima or not transferring Onigashima. Well, okay, right. So what's your call? What do you think?
I personally think it will simply be renaming the flower capital at mainland Wano into New Onigashima. I hope it will be the giant skull coming to life and the entire island moving.
That's pretty much exactly how I feel too. Dude, especially because you remember Marco said something like that? Like, oh, Onigashima, that's what they're calling it now. So it just feels like there could be something more to it. So, but that's about it. Like, more realistically, it makes sense to just be
just renaming. Randomly throwing that thought out there. Do you feel like Onigashima could be an ancient weapon?
Oh, I did not think about that earlier, but that would be insane if Kaido's literally just living in an ancient weapon all this time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an ancient weapon, but I think it very easily could be now that you're talking about it like that. I just don't know how I feel about. I don't like the idea of more ancient weapons being creatures. Similar, like I think we covered that with the Seeking, so my preference would be that it's not that. But it would be really cool if it's revealed to be that. It's just not my preference specifically.
Right. I'm curious. I'm really curious what it's going to mean. And like, no matter if that skull is alive or not, I do want to get some backstory on it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope it's not just like an SBS lore type thing. Like, it's just too cool not to.
Yeah, no. That has to be referenced for sure. Let's see. What else do we got? Anything that caught your eye already?
Someone's asking, when are we inviting Joy Boy Theories? And we've invited him. He will be on the podcast soon.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if there's a question. When is a character important to a story? So Raul Angel Balverde asked, when is a character important to a story developed enough for its death to be considered impactful? That's an interesting question. What do you think?
That's actually a really interesting question. When is a character considered impactful enough for a story?
Yeah. Like Ace and Whitebeard, I think.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah, I do personally believe. So first of all, as a quick disclaimer, obviously there's different degrees, I believe, logically, to characters, to the degree of how much impact they leave. I personally do believe that a good author only has characters that leave impacts. I feel like if you have a character in your story that doesn't serve any proper purpose in the story and doesn't characterize those around him or moves the plot forward or expands the world in some way or form, that's a character you should probably cut out of your story because it's literally, by definition, doesn't serve a purpose. Same as like with a plot thread or like a location that doesn't serve any, purpose of driving your story forward, you should probably not keep that in there.
I think that's fair to a degree, but then, like, I mean, even in One Piece, though, you can point to lots of more minor characters. Like, some of the minks have names, but they don't necessarily, I wouldn't consider them to be impactful in the way that, like,
I would say they're impactful in the way that they expand the world, though. Like, for example, the minks or the Tontada also, they give us a new aspect of the world, and, like, while they don't have a personal impact on Luffy, like, them existing as a group and having names and so on and so forth is just world building, in my opinion. In a random story with, like, where you have a random dude who has a random interaction with the main character, but it doesn't do anything, right? Like, you could cut that character out because this interaction doesn't give any characterization to the main character or to any other character, and it also doesn't tell us anything new about the world. So
so I agree with you on that, for sure. I guess just in terms of death, like, for the death to feel impactful, I think the bar does have to be, like, a little bit higher, because for me, I think
was it death or depth?
Death. Sorry. Okay, I didn't read it right then. Sorry.
So okay, I'm sorry.
It's when's a character. My bad. All right. So when is it?
Head. That went completely over my head.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know if I'd feel anything if one of the Tontadas died, but yeah, that's basically it. So when is a character important enough that their death would be considered impactful? So that's why I said Ace or Whitebeard, for example.
That is a better. Okay, now the question makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I see where your confusion came from.
Yeah. I was like, damn, there's like a really wide view that you've got.
Yeah. Okay, that's. I feel like there's two ways that a character's death can be impactful. One is that it is just a character that is very well fleshed out, and we've gotten to know this character. We have good characterization and spend some time with him. Then obviously it hurts us as the reader of, losing that character. And at the same time, I feel like the second option is that, which was the case with Ace, that we maybe didn't know the character as well, but we were aware that the main character had a very close relationship to that character, and so just seeing the main character, or seeing the main, in that case Luffy, suffer from losing Ace, like, that's what created the real impact of Ace's death, in my opinion.
Okay, so like so you're saying basically, and I agree with this, like, either when the character themselves is fleshed out to a certain degree that, like, we as the reader already feel endeared to them, or when there's a character that we really care about, and the relationship between the dying character and this character has been firmly established and built up, so that, like, Precisely. We feel that empathy, basically. Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. And I guess the last, I'll throw in when it's like a really important, like, even if a character hasn't been developed enough themselves as a character, but maybe they're, like, more so from a plot or narrative perspective, I guess, like, their death would drastically change things. I can't think of a good example for that in One Piece, but you know what I mean? Like, Orochi doesn't count, but, like, Orochi's kind of towing that line. Like, he's developed, but, like, his death would be impactful for the story in terms of, like, the direction that it takes the story. So that's the last thing.
For sure. That's another very important aspect. I agree. Yeah, if it actually, maybe we don't care emotionally, but it moves the story forward. Yeah.
I would say someone like Pound, for example, I wouldn't say that his death was, like, super impactful for the story, because he had not been, like, a significant character up to that point. But I think Oda did do, like, a really good job in that chapter of, like, changing our perspective of him a lot. So it can be, like, a really nice moment without it being, like, an impactful moment for the overall story. Although, of course, we know that Oda changed that. But that's, it would have been a really good scene. You there? Oh, great. All right, well, I'll just look for another question in the meantime. You back?
This will be a pain to edit.
Are you going to be cutting these parts out, or I think you could just leave them in?
I think we can just leave them in.
It's too many this point. I'm sorry about that, but
let's see. How much have you been typing on your keyboard? That's the more important question.
Oh no, I've been doing that a lot. Sorry.
Oh no. That's always the worst.
Do you cut those out?
Yeah, I usually, like, try to mute it.
Sorry. Oh man. Okay, I'll keep that as a note in mind. I won't do that next time. I haven't thought about it at all. I'm usually just I'm going to the chapter or I'm going to Twitter or something like that just to see. You got a question?
I do have a question because it's the same guy that asked the question right now.
I know the question you're gonna ask. I know the question. Yeah, go ahead though.
Oh, you want to read it?
Does Morj love coffee as much as Ohara? That's the question.
Yeah.
No, because
no,
Ohara.
Nobody loves coffee as much as.
There's no. Yeah, I don't tweet about drinking coffee literally every single day. I do like coffee. There was a period of time I actually didn't know that Ohara liked coffee a lot because when we did Wano reports, Ohara would always be saying, okay, I'm going to make some tea, and then I'll be on, right? Like, this true. Is, when I'm messaging him before we're starting the podcast, basically. So every time Ohara's sitting down with tea, I think literally, like 9 out of 10 Wano reports, he was sitting down with tea. Maybe still. I don't know if you have it right now, but maybe you already drank water. You have water.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess the sad truth behind that is that, like, whenever we talk, usually, except for the time I was in Japan, it's usually my nighttime.
Yes. Yes.
And I've already had a bunch of coffees. So
I had wrongly. I basically wrongly pegged you as like someone who likes tea way more than coffee. Like I think at some point you brought up like, oh, I love coffee. I'm like, not what you like tea. You're always drinking tea. I've never seen you drink coffee. And you're like, yeah, that's because it's like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. for me every time we do this report. Then I was like, never mind. And then I see your Twitter.
For my sleep's sake.
I see you've literally got coffee lover in your Twitter bio. I'm like, how did I miss all these signs?
They're right there.
Yeah.
The foreshadowing. The foreshadowing was there.
Me like drawing stuff all over a board. Like in the intro of all of his videos, he's like making coffee. In his Twitter bio, he's got coffee lover. He tweets about coffee every day.
I put in the groundwork. Yeah. And you didn't realize it.
No, I didn't realize.
Oh man.
I do like coffee though, not as much as Ohara.
No, coffee's nice. Coffee's life. Very important.
Okay.
But just not at night.
No.
If you want to sleep. Let's see, what else do we have? What do you think would be a possible job for Yamato on the Sunny?
Oh, that's a good question.
Just like clubbing people with her club, I feel. Sounds good. I don't know.
Okay, that's a job. That's what every pirate ship needs.
Yeah.
We'll never make it to Raft Hill without one of those.
It's basically the Straw Hat's better version of Alvida.
Shoot though, but I'm actually trying to. Can you think of like a role? Because like Carrot, you can fit into Lookout. Like even someone like Momo or Tama, you can fit into the role of Cabin Boy. Obviously, Cabin Boy is like not a necessary role, but it just like fits. Like so far, everyone's sort of fit.
I think that she would fit in the role of Odin. Like, like I'm not even trolling, because like that's literally what Odin did on like Whitebeard and Roger's ship. He was just strong and there because he wanted to be there, you know.
So fighter. I guess fighter makes sense.
I feel like that might be
fighter.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, actually, you know what? I thought of a good one. Oh, okay.
Oh, did you hear what I was saying? Sorry.
No, I didn't. What did you say?
Okay, I just said like I feel like she might literally just take the role of Odin, same as Odin did on like Roger's or Whitebeard ship.
I heard that.
No real purpose.
Like a fighter, basically, right?
Yeah, like a fighter, like a strong samurai from Wano, basically.
Okay, I'll say to give a different, like just something that maybe goes with the sailing thing, I guess. I think it kind of makes sense. Is if she's like Odin, is log keeper, right? I think.
Okay.
Like that kind of fits because you know she's already got a logbook. Odin kept a log and everything like that. As far as I know, but nobody keeps a log of the Straw Hat's travels like Nami keeps for the map and stuff. But I don't think that she does otherwise. True. So I think that's something that could fit. I'll just keep that in my head.
Yeah, sure.
Her possible thing. That's about it.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's not an issue.
It's not. They don't need that at all. Like they're never gonna be like, oh no, who's keeping the log all this time? We're never gonna make it to Raft Hill without.
Oh shit.
Only got, like,
no, but you know, like I feel like they make it a point in this chapter already where she's like, as Odin, I feel I should be traveling on your ship, kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well that's your role, Odin, basically.
So whatever Odin is. Do we have another good question? I think you want to do like two more.
What is Tama going to do in this? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can do two more.
No, let's do the Tama one.
I would like I would like to keep this podcast going as long as possible, so we have more awkward interruptions.
You gotta edit out.
Like one day, I dream that we're just gonna sit. Hopefully, at least once, I want to sit in the same room as you and just have a normal conversation.
No weird audio issues. No cutting out or anything like that.
It's gonna be the best podcast. That's gonna be episode 100. We're just gonna.
Episode 100. No, hopefully it's a lot sooner than that. But with COVID and stuff like that.
We'll see with COVID. But like, what do you think Tama will be doing this arc?
Shoot, dude, it's hard. It's I really don't see her purpose now anymore, to be honest, because her ability is very valuable. So that's why I believe that she will
it should be something. It should be something with her powers, right?
But besides that, I can't really tell. So, it's one of the reasons that I also believe that I'm such a broken record at this point, but I think that there's a whole nother phase to the arc after this, because I count Tama as one of the loose threads, and I literally can't predict what her ability is.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I feel like there's still more to her character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't know, like, obviously I would say that Tenguyama is not her real father. She was the first character introduced in the arc. Like, I don't know, like, there's just something about her character. I feel like there's still gonna be like this aha moment,
The Tama Yamato stuff is weighing heavier on me. I'm like, what color is Yamato's hair? I'm like, if Yamato at some point, if she does the Kibidango thing, I'm gonna flip imagine what a crazy reveal that would be, like, if somewhere down the line during the fight, he pulls a Kibidango. You're right, we don't know Tama's parents or anything like that. I don't know. It's just weird stuff. It's such an out there theory, but it's just something fun to think about.
I swear though, if Yamato's hair is not white now, it probably won't be, and I'm gonna be disappointed. I already know it.
Nobody's hair is the color that you kind of think it is.
Yeah, red would be cool also. I'm just thinking.
What's Kaido's hair is black, right? So,
but I think it's implied that it's brighter. I think. Let me check.
It's white, right? So it should be.
Well, it's white, so it should be something brighter. Yeah, I don't know. Like, white would look really nice, but like, I feel like going with the theme of Wano so far, it'll be something quirky.
Who's Kaido's wife? I'm really interested in that.
Do you think? I don't know. Do you think it's Big Maria? Black Maria. Big Maria.
Black Maria. You think? I don't think Black Maria's like her mother.
Too young, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It would feel like a really high role for the Toby Roppo. Like, I feel like you just have a different role at that point.
I feel. I've seen, who was that? I think Joy Boy. I think I watched his review and he was toying with the idea that maybe Kaido had another son or something, and that's why he was so depressed. I don't see that happening, though. I do feel like Kaido losing his wife or something, or using his lover, that could definitely have triggered the depression he has.
That's actually very true. Yeah, because Kaido, we need to learn so much more about Kaido. I'm so interested in his flashback.
I'm so excited about him though.
Yeah.
Like, I was a bit worried before we got into this, but like, Oda took his time. He like really held him back strongly. Like, he really basically locked him up in Onigashima and was like, nope. So now that we're finally getting like some real characterization for him, it's really, really exciting to see, I feel.
Yeah, I think Kaido is going to end up being one of my favorite One Piece villains.
I agree. For sure. You want to pick another question? Last one or two more?
How about I pick one and then you pick one and then let's call it? All right, so
let's do that.
But I should have said that before. I should have picked one before doing this. So we did the Yamato one. Oh, this is fun, kind of. Santiago Poveda asks, what is your favorite theory that was wrong? So, I don't know if you've got one off the top of your head. Do I?
Nope. I have to think first.
Shit, yeah. I don't know if there's a cool theory that was wrong. Oh, you know what? I kind of know.
You go for it.
It was the Katakuri, Daifuku, and Oven being Kaido and Big Mom's kids. I think that's
not disproven yet, is it?
I think Oda said something. Like, I think Oda outright said, because some people came to interview him and asked about it, and Oda outright said that that's not the case. So I think that's disproven. I was more disappointed about it. Like, I didn't want to believe it when I read that interview because I was like, oh, come on. There's no way that's not true. It just fits so perfectly. But I'm more okay with it now that we have Yamato, and I'm like, Yamato's a cool kid. Like, I
would have strongly disliked it if Kaido would have been Katakuri's father, I think.
Oh, you would have?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it would have been so cool. Like,
really?
It's just, I don't know. Like, because I really like Katakuri as a character. I was like, Kaido and Big Mom, that stuff was being played up more and more. So just the idea that like they hooked up and they had a kid that you would expect, which is like Katakuri, like a total, like I don't know. I like the idea.
I can see where you're coming from. I don't know. I'm very happy with Yamato, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed a little bit.
Okay, I have two interesting questions, but they're
you can do both.
A bit more.
Just do both.
They're a bit more abstract, so we can keep both of them short.
Okay.
The first one is, what do you think Brooke and Frankie is doing right now? I just thought that was interesting because I literally forgot that they're still running around.
Yeah, I want them. Everybody's just gonna make their way to the room, right? Probably, like at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see the two of them. Definitely, I really like Brooke. I really like Frankie. So
where did they went off on the
off on the motorcycle, I think. No, on the Reno thing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, why did Oda split everybody up? Why are Chopper and Usopp on their own? Why are Brooke and Frankie on their own?
Oh, also we didn't talk about Nami and Carrot getting captured by Big Mom.
Are they captured, or did they like just get a little beat up and then like Zeus got to, like, are they tied up right now or something? I can't tell.
I think it was implied that Big Mom threw them on the stage in front of Kaido's feet.
Okay.
They're definitely in trouble.
Yeah, they're basically in trouble. Yeah. They'll get out of it.
I thought it was interesting that Zeus actually apparently didn't, flip back to Big Mom's side, but got beat up by Big Mom as well.
I do think Big Mom's gonna have Zeus for like a little bit. I think Nami will get him back by the end of the arc.
Yeah, I do think so too.
Yeah, but I think Nami will definitely have him by the end of the arc. But I think that I would like to see Nami fight a little bit without Zeus, because I don't think we've fully seen what she can do without Zeus just yet. Like, she kind of got the boot. Yeah.
And I would go even further. I would want her to fight a bit without Zeus, and then I would want to see Big Mom give her Zeus freely.
Oh,
at the end of the arc.
That'd be interesting. I never like that because I like Big Mom as a villain, but you know that already. What was the last question?
One question I thought was interesting is, what is Urush's story and role in the story going to be like?
Oh,
I thought that was interesting because he's one of the supernova that we have. I think the last time we saw him was together with Kaido, but like there's very little mention of him in the story so far. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I still believe that most of the supernovas, if not all, will be making their way back to Wano. So I think Uruj could definitely be in Wano still. I think it just wasn't time to fit him in just yet.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked to you before about my theory for what happens to a lot of the supernovas, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You may or may not remember it.
I do.
Yeah. I'm just not going to talk about it here, basically.
Also ties in with the
don't say
flying with the flying six, I guess.
Yeah, I guess sure. I guess so, a little bit.
A bit.
Okay.
A bit. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good point too.
Wait, what was your opinion on Uruj's story?
On Uruj? I don't know. I think I really like his character. But I mean, there's so little we know about him. I feel like Uruj might possibly be saved up. I don't know. Actually, no. I was about to say maybe he's going to be saved up for reintroducing Enel and like his storyline later on, but like now I'm not so sure. Do you feel like Enel's going to come back?
I think Enel could come back just to be fruit farmed by the Blackbeard pirates, is basically my view. I think his fruit is too good. Like, I think he is going to come back because Oda likes bringing villains back. I think Oda even had Enel say as he left that he'll come back someday. But I just think that, like, if he comes back to Earth, his fruit is so good, it's just so wasted on him. Like, I think it's the biggest discrepancy between good fruit to weak character in the entire story. Like, I think the lightning fruit is still, I would put it as the best Logia, in my opinion, or like really, it's got a good case for it.
It's pretty strong, for sure.
I would say maybe the best fruit in the series, or up there. Like, it's a contender.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so for Uruj, I don't know. I'm intrigued by him because like we know that he single-handedly went to challenge Big Mom, invaded her territory, got beat by Cracker. He was for some reason there when Kaido jumped off that cloud.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder what his role is gonna be. I would like the idea of all the supernova coming to Wano, but I equally wouldn't mind some supernova being relevant to Wano and then some supernova being relevant maybe to Elbaf or something later on. So
makes sense.
We'll see.
All right.
Okay. Let's wrap it up here, I would say. Good one. A lot of hot stuff, hot topics at the beginning. We're really on thin ice there.
I forgot about that.
And like some connection problems, but I think it was a good podcast overall.
I don't think they noticed the connection problems. I don't think they noticed.
They definitely didn't. We smoothed that out pretty well.
Yeah, we covered it pretty well. And, I have no idea what you were saying every time the connection went out, but I was definitely still talking.
I feel like probably both of us just kept rambling.
Yes,
something's happening.
It's probably just terrible to listen to.
Yeah, that's okay. And one thing I was thinking, I think we didn't discuss this before, but like I'm just gonna bring it up here. Like now that we have the separate channel, maybe in the future we might be able to, in between breaks or something, just stream actually on this channel if you're up for that, and just maybe answer some questions or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think we can consider that for the future. Okay, cool. Otherwise, subscribe to our channels if you haven't yet. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. If you're listening to this on Spotify, etc., please leave us a review. And otherwise, I think I've got everything. Anything else?
No, that sounds good.